Hello, friends and foes, fays and fiends, and welcome to Quests and Chaos. My name is Alondra Heilman, aka Lady Bedivere, and tonight I will be your heist handler as we continue with keys from the Golden Vault. Tonight, we begin the first of 2 level 8 modules, this one called Shard of the Accursed, which doesn't sound ominous or anything like that. But before we dive into the story, as always, Keys from the Golden Vault is sponsored by the Deck of Inspiration. This was created by Thomas here at Quests and Chaos with the help of many of our lovely community members and play tested on many of our games, and we're continuing to use it tonight. We actually have a bunch of cards left over from earlier in the month, and if you want to get your own copies of the Deck of Inspiration, you can find them in a link or a pop-up below, or you can go to shop.questsandchaos.com, which is probably popping up on the screen right now because my timing is impeccable. Yeah, that's the shill. The players currently have 5 cards from earlier in the month. I have 2. We'll see if we ever actually manage to remember to use them. We frequently don't. In addition to the Deck of Inspiration, the cards we have from our lovely patrons, we also have some coins that were distributed. First off, we have 4 coins from Duke Fleeg. Thank you, Your Grace. We're going to start at Thomas because he's making eye contact with me. Thank you. Did I math this right? I mathed this wrong. And then we have 8 coins from Tiana Wren, or Ravenna Loswin, because it is Fair's birthday today.
Happy birthday,
Wren! And so we get presents. So 4 for you. We're starting at this end this time.
Nope.
3 for you.
Oh, sad.
2 for you.
All right, my drink placement.
And 4 for me. An even split.
You know what? That's fair.
Are we doing upside down?
So we're starting off well. And speaking of starting off, as always, it's a short introduction at the start of a new module. Things have been quiet in this corner of the world for the last little bit. The Varkenheim members of the team have kept a low profile, waiting to catch news of the Power and Plunder, or the Silver Fingers, or the Agile Hand, or the Kralkamark cultists, or any of the other shady individuals and organizations that they have crossed paths with in their time since being recruited into the Vault. So far, nothing. But, unfortunately, the Golden Vault never lets this team rest for long. Devan, you've spent the last couple of weeks, maybe closer to a month, time dilates a little bit, in the Hells, in a very lovely vacation home mansion on the edge of a fiery lake pit. It was nice, a little warm. Your hosts were strange, to say the least, but very kind. The food was excellent. The cocktails, if you tried any, were impeccable, and aside from that strange tiefling woman who you once met in the casino months and months ago, asking you a lot of very odd questions, mostly about geography and powerful individuals that you may have interacted with in your time at the Vault, mostly a pretty pleasant time. And you have finally been given the okay to return, and with a snap and a wink and a con check, you find yourself back in Varkenheim, probably near one of your usual haunts, maybe the butcher's shop that you haven't seen in a while. A little queasy from the teleport, and a little bit sad to have finally made it to another plane, but not
yet.
the one you were hoping for. Hopefully that's assuaged, though, when you immediately hear a bit of a rustling in the dumpster next to you, followed by that little twinge in the back of your brain, an excited little spark of recognition as a black and white rabbit just comes leaping out of the dumpster and, like, lands in your arms, like, nuzzling at you and, like, licking at your neck.
It's so good to see you.
You kind of get this impression of looking for you and not being able to find you, and there not being enough time to keep looking, and being really sorry and glad that you're okay.
Oh.
As he then kind of scrambles out of your arms and kind of does the thing where he kind of tugs at your pant leg and runs a few feet down and starts leading you
for you, my
down
liege.
the road. Taz, you were really hoping that that last one was going to be the end of it. Mm-hmm. It was not, unfortunately. You also were actually greeted by a small black and white rabbit about 3 weeks ago, who appeared in your bar, hopped up on the counter where he knows he's not supposed to be. And suddenly you found yourself in space.
I don't think Taz has conceptualized space very much.
You found yourself in a large, beautiful, cabin retreat that when you walked out, instead of seeing trees and mountains, you saw swirling constellations and galaxies off in the distance. Your housemate was a little peculiar, a little chatty, strange allergies to garlic and sunlight, and occasionally just was climbing up and down the walls, literally. But, good conversationalist. You swapped some stories about your jobs with the Golden Vault. Mm-hmm. And now you've been returned. You got up this morning and found a business card sitting on the table, similar to ones that you've seen before. It's a touch-activated teleportation spell. And you popped not back into your bar, but into a college bar in Varkenheim, a few hours away from yours. But you do recognize the bartender. It's your swing, Dave. You sort of appear, it's 10 in the morning, so there's not really anyone in here. He's cleaning glasses, and he just looks up and is like, "Oh, you're back."
I guess I am.
Great, that means the others will probably be here any second.
Oh, I hate being first. I'm gonna go get a coffee. I'll be back.
Oh, yeah, go for it.
Taz leaves.
Des immediately out the door.
Yes.
Gemma, Huey, Stewart. You all have been kind of laying low here in Varkenheim, going about probably some of your normal business, but keeping a wary eye out. Emma may or may not have stuck around. She might have gone even further to ground given some of her activities that she's involved with. But you two stay in communication, making sure that you're keeping each other updated on what is or isn't going on and any of the rumors that you hear. Gemma, you haven't heard from either of your moms this whole time, which is not totally concerning, but it is certainly unusual.
What about the boyfriend?
The boyfriend has texted a couple of times asking if you've heard anything and confirming that he hasn't. You now have another number for your phone. He does have your mom's phone, but he did get his own.
Great.
Just in case. He's taking care of the Methets, who are very sad, but putting up with it. And Huey, you're still playing gigs at the college bar here and there. It doesn't feel as... there doesn't feel as much of a need to not continue with at least that gig, because you do know that Dave and some of the others frequent that area. So if anything comes up, that's going to be actually one of the best places to be, because it'll be one of the first places to find out if any of these strange organizations that you have crossed paths with in your time in the Golden Vault have resurfaced. But so far, everything's been pretty quiet. Stuart, you probably check in with some of your contacts. You keep an eye on the corruption in the Watch, and no major reports, no major weirdness coming up. Both good and bad, right? Everything has just been quiet. Until this morning, when each of you, Gemma, Huey, and Stuart, receive not a business card this time, but a note. A handwritten note with a wax seal, gold wax with a little imprint of a key on it, that is delivered to your the door of your lodging, your respective mail drop location, whatever you have set up individually. It is formally addressed with your name in like a beautifully elegant script in gold ink, and all sealed up here.
Pop it open.
Stuart, you pop it open, and it says, Mr. Stuart Shonnery, the Golden Vault requests your attendance at a briefing at the, I always get it wrong, the Scholar's Quill, at 10:30 a.m. Please arrive promptly. Signed, the Golden Vault.
I imagine it's like 15 minutes from now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you did not get a lot of lead time on this. Huey, Gemma, yours, if you should open them, read identically, save for it is your names. You do not all get letters addressed to Stuart as funny as that would be.
That would be very good.
Head disguise self and head over there.
Cool. Are you disguising yourself as any particular individual or just not you?
Just not me.
Cool.
I imagine Gemma finds Taz at the coffee shop across the street.
Absolutely.
You stop it for coffee before you go over, yeah.
Actually, I kind of suspected.
Oh.
Yeah, there you go. All right.
you.
Yeah, no problem.
I imagine Huey is probably not necessarily concerned because with what happened last time, it's like people didn't even know who the hell he was.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm Star-Lord. Who?
Yeah.
Basically that equivalent. And if anything, he's a little dejected by that. It's like, man, I really am failing.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a bummer, but you all sort of make your way, Huey. As you roll up, you probably catch sight of a little black and white furry blur racing up the street, followed by Devan, who you haven't seen in a little bit.
Devin!
I keep up with the rabbit.
Oh, right.
How have you been?
Doing good. You know, lots of, conspiracies, murder afoot, all those sorts of things.
Did you end up in hell?
No, metaphorical.
Oh, literal.
Awesome.
Pretty nice, actually.
Not what I expected, but good to know.
As you two step out of the coffee shop, you see Huey and Devan jog by, following Hyacinth the rabbit. You see that they are also headed in the direction of the coffee shop, or of the bar, rather.
We've all just decided to move the Golden Vault HQ to the coffee shop instead. I'm sorry.
Don't worry, I'm sure Dave probably moonlights as a barista too.
Oh, absolutely.
Morning lights.
Morning lights, yeah, maybe.
Sunlights. Yep.
You guys all pass by some incredibly bland, innocuous person who also happens to be wandering in your general direction, and you take absolutely no notice of him whatsoever because he's just so generically a dude. He follows you into the
Can you believe all these generic dudes?
That's all we got here anymore, just generic dudes.
Tell me about it. They're everywhere.
You're like,
Disguise self, generic dude.
but yeah, you all pop into the bar. You see now Dave is no longer wiping out glasses. He is setting out the last of the brunch spread on the bar. So you've got like the fruit, the English muffins, the like little hams and eggs and cheeses that you can assemble into little breakfast sandwiches. There's like oatmeal bar, whatever. He's like setting everything up. Hey, come on in.
Don't mind if I do. Start scraping stuff onto a plate.
Yeah. No, tuck in. This one might be a long one. Here you go. He reaches under the bar and he pulls out a fairly large lead cylinder. Clunk. Sets it on the bar. And then he reaches under again and pulls out an incredibly elegant gold music box. Ooh. Sets it down. Have fun. I assume somebody's got a got a key, right?
I'll just take this into the back.
Excuse me? Excuse me? Excuse me?
Gemma, Stuart.
Oh, hi.
Oh, hey, I almost didn't recognize you.
Thank
Very
you. Thank you.
generic human.
They asked me to join a fraternity earlier. It was interesting, yeah.
Oh yeah, they've been recruiting really hard, which is weird because I'm pretty sure it's like the end of the semester. I'm not really sure how their terms work at that college, honestly. Time is really irrelevant around here. Anyway, bar doesn't actually open for another hour, so if you guys want to sit out here at the bar and nom while you listen to that, go for it. Or back room's always open if you want a little more privacy.
Are we here to listen to music?
I'm pretty sure it's gonna give you instructions for your next job.
Ooh,
It's very impersonal.
yeah. We should go to the back.
But the food's out here.
We could take the food
can
with
take-
us.
I can make the food be back there.
Goody.
Do you?
How much food do you need?
Oh, that is a really rough question.
Look at this physique. Clearly, I need a lot of protein.
Oh, I mean, if you guys want shakes, I've got protein shakes too. What's your favorite powder blend? I've got them all.
Jamocha.
Gotcha. Here, why don't you just you see suddenly all the platters like start lifting off the table as though they're being picked up, and they start making their way into the back room.
Is it Jamocha? Jerk chicken flavored mocha shake? Because it sounds awful. Awful.
I mean, you could put the chicken into the shake and it would give it more protein, but there are better options.
You mean I'm doing it wrong this entire time?
I'm gonna bring y'all a flight to try.
If it's
Mimosas.
working for you, it's not wrong.
Yeah, I was gonna say protein, mimosas,
Chicken sandwich.
chicken sandwich. Great. Okay.
Hands off the coffee.
Oh, do you happen to have the coffee?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just imagining a mimosa with ground
We've
chicken
added
in
a
it.
few new things in there, so we've got a real mortgage of drinks.
You all.
You really got to make sure you're on the right setting.
You'll head back into the back room, resettle around the buffet, the breakfast buffet spread. You see that Hyacinth has somehow built himself like a Dagwood breakfast sandwich that he is just happily like going to town on in the corner. You also see that sitting with him, which he kind of noses towards you guys as you enter, is a gold key.
Oh, okay. I'll pick that up.
Yeah.
Is Hyacinth eating it vertically?
Oh yes.
Yes. Okay.
Oh yeah, no, it's like this tall. He is this big, sitting on the
Perfect.
table, taking bites out of the side like it's a Jenga tower situation.
He's not like unhinged jaw.
He is not fully Scooby Dooed. Right now, he is playing Jenga.
But he can.
I know.
So this cylinder of
Put the key on the table. Just go in the box.
Music
Oh,
box?
okay.
Oh my! Picks up key. Does anybody see a keyhole? Just like look at music box.
Yes, there is a
Okay,
keyhole.
great.
The key does appear to match the box. Some of you have experienced this before. I think Stuart has one of these music boxes already. Sloan definitely does. I don't remember if Gemma has her own. There's at least one other person. Several of you have been granted boxes like these that are somewhere collecting dust in your office. This looks very similar to that. But yeah, you find a little keyhole on it. You pop the key in, you turn it, and a little like almost like hold me like dun 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 plays as it folds open. This absolutely feels far more impersonal than any other version of this that you've ever gotten. And every other version of this that you've gotten when you have gotten your instructions through these has been Priscilla. This one is not. This one, greetings, operatives. Earthquakes threaten the town of Ostakan, and the Golden Vault believes the enclosed shard is the heart of the problem. This shard was taken from the tomb of a giant named Xeluan. A criminal organization called the Onyx Scar has been plundering Xeluan's tomb and selling off its treasures. The shard passed through many hands before the Golden Vault acquired it. Whoever attunes to the shard gains great strength and magical power, but also suffers misfortune due to a curse. This quest, should you choose to undertake it, requires you to travel to Ostokan with the shard, descend into Xeluan's tomb, and return the shard to its rightful place. Once you reach Ostokan, contact a playwright named Leandro Sedhar. He knows vital information about Ostokan's history and can help you reach the tomb. Good luck, operatives. Dun, 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 dun. And the music box closes back up. Just closes back up.
I hope someone got that.
Rewind.
Yeah.
You just crank the key again. It
Yeah, I was totally
operatives,
thrown off. That
and just
being
continues
tight.
going.
I know.
Could you repeat some of those key infos?
I'm sorry, I do not understand the query. Please rephrase.
Okay, so the shard was taken from some giant somewhere. We got to go to Astawan to
Xeluan.
find the vaults that were raided. Don't attune to the thing because it'll give you great power, but you'll die probably.
Leandro Sedhar. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we got it.
Yeah, I think we got most.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we got the main hit points out of there. We got a location, an item,
Curse.
An
And a curse.
adjective and
several verbs.
I feel like we shouldn't have to say this out loud, but I just want to say this out loud. We're not opening this box.
Oh, is this the shard?
I assume the cylinder is the
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
We're not opening the box.
Okay.
Okay? Okay?
Not intentionally.
That is an apt promise.
After the rug. Okay?
Yes. Correct.
Okay.
How
So
heavy was it?
It's
The lead box.
It's a big lead box.
I'm double checking. I mean, the lead cylinder is like 15 inches long, and it's pretty hefty because like it's a beefy boy. And you could definitely, like, as you picked up and carried it, you could feel something sort of like shifting a little bit inside of it. There's definitely an object inside here.
Try shaking it.
That could break it. Oh.
Oh, I was hoping we could have made a beat out of
Not
that.
hard. It's cursed. It's not gonna.
That's true.
It's not gonna break.
Probably make an
Not
awesome
getting
wind
anything.
chime out of that.
Oh. We're not opening it.
No,
we just
no.
talked about this.
Just saying that it probably could.
I mean, we might want to double check what's in there. I've had that go poorly on people before.
Oh, it's just rocks.
Hyacinth,
Yeah,
can you
either it's not
confirm
there or it's like a dragon.
Is it?
Hyacinth
Contained.
hops over and it's kind of like, and then you see just opens his mouth of way too sharp teeth, chomps onto one of the bolts that's holding it shut, and starts like twisting it
Okay.
open.
No.
And then he like pulls back, kind of looks at you.
No. We're not opening it.
What if it's a dragon?
Oh my god.
Look, they just said we don't have
He
to
just starts
attune.
like skittering at it, like he's trying to like claw it open.
They
a
just
little
said as long as we don't
We
attune to it, we're
we
fine.
just said
Whatever you wish, my lord.
we're not opening it.
No. We requested that of Hyacinth. Hyacinth is not requesting it of us. It's okay.
No, I heard him. No,
I'm
he
just
was quite clear.
I'm just saying, if we have to attune to it to suffer the misfortune, that means we can at least hold on to it for 59 minutes.
Well, I'm not going to touch it.
That's not how cursed objects work.
No.
Ooh, who's got a cursed object? Dave has now entered. He literally has a bunch of like, it's like a shots flight, but it's all protein shakes.
You know,
Different
most
colors and flavors.
in all fairness, most cursed items are more afraid of you than you are of them.
That's true.
I don't think
least-
that's correct.
I'm going with no.
In my experience.
Oh no, I
How-
mean, I had a cursed book that ran screaming from the room every time I came in.
See?
Was that the curse?
Maybe. I don't know. I never could catch up to it, so I never got to find out what the curse was.
It's the mystery. The mystery is the curse.
Yeah.
Never knowing.
Another
Oh, man.
coin from JP to
Yes.
the players.
Right about way to make it go insane,
Thank
bro.
you. Maybe they'll use
mean,
it
if it
to
doesn't
open
come
this
back.
box.
Is it open yet?
Are you opening it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. You like it's just like screwing off the like you know.
I don't
nut
know.
bolting.
Is it a dragon?
You pop it open and it looks like a big chunk of rock.
Oh.
Great.
What kind of rock?
Oh, now you're interested.
I mean, it's open now.
It looks like mostly like onyx. Are you gonna pull it out? Or
No.
like-
No.
Okay. From what you can see in this tube, the end of it kind of looks like onyx, that, you know, something that is hard but also easy to like chip or shape, except that it is run through with these like beautiful like silvery veins, like marble would be, that almost seem to like maybe glow a little bit.
Taz, this won't turn into a dragon, will it?
Not
No.
to my knowledge, no. I'm not familiar.
Can I
with
grab
these.
one of my like jeweler's tools out of my bag and just like pincer it
Yeah.
and pull it out to look at it that way? What?
Okay.
You pull it out.
I can levitate things, but it's fine.
Oh, great. Do that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
great. I will levitate
I'll
this
hold
object.
it until you levitate
and
it.
I'm like, I got it.
You pull it out. This thing is 12 inches long. It is a chunk. It is a shard of this onyx rock. It has like a radiating sort of like fracture spiral kind of in the center, like something hit it there and it started to like crack a little bit out from that point. And then running through the dark black stone are all of these like beautiful, almost shimmering, silvery veins.
Okay.
Looks legitimate.
Okay. Close it back
Ooh,
up.
ah.
It's a rock.
Okay.
Great.
Confirmed.
Onyx shard.
Womp, womp, womp.
Check.
Drink, drink, drink.
It was a big rock.
Look,
It's a very pretty rock.
I'm glad it's a rock.
I
It's
mean,
extremely cursed.
super valid to check the goods. I've done jobs for the vault before where they give you the thing and then it turns out not to be the thing that you thought you had, or
Yeah.
somebody swaps it on you. So always valid to check.
Have we done that one?
Did you check for your transport? Because if it wasn't in the music box, it's probably in that tube.
Let's open
I've
the
done a
tube
couple of
again.
these before.
I would have made that
Where is
perception
it?
check.
Taz looks around in the thing.
You do see at the other end of the tube, like where it's slid down, or what
You
looks like a
lift it,
pile of
lift
Yeah,
it
cards.
out.
Levitate.
Touch, touch,
Get the thing. Levitate back in.
Does it mean the business cards are cursed too?
No, they're just magical.
Oh.
You do see that these, again, look very similar to Priscilla's, but these are like the generic ones that don't have an employee name on them or anything. They're just generic golden vol with the like key and the symbol and everything.
I don't even know what you're getting.
The curse of blandness.
I have a bad feeling about my chances
Of?
not throwing up
Oh, right.
with these generic looking cards.
Oh,
the
yeah,
trick is to go on a
generic
full
ones.
stomach. You should load up.
Hyacinth hops over and starts nomming out of a bowl of oatmeal.
Look, a little bunny, just a little bleh, is a little different than the buffet.
Gonna,
Anything I can pack to go for y'all?
yeah,
Or you?
all the any dried meats you have at this table.
Oh yeah. Do you want the specific ones? I can like get you a full like traveler's pack
Oh.
charcuterie situation.
Yes, that.
Yeah,
That.
two,
Cool.
Three?
three, three.
Three.
Yes, yeah.
What are we stocking up for? One person?
An adventure.
For like an hour?
No, this is we have to go into a like
A
it sounds like a
tomb.
tomb, like a big like that could be
Yeah.
days.
Who's got the bag?
Days?
Yeah, you probably want to put this in the briefcase. because
Hours?
It's really heavy.
Sloan has the briefcase right now, and it is not accessible.
Hey, Sloane's not here.
Sloan's not here.
You're not sure where Sloane is. The last you heard from her was something 10 towns, something, something, date.
Yeah, they have a date with a
Convict.
Convicted criminal.
an acquaintance of ours.
Well, where's the backup briefcase?
Taz checks her calendar. Nope, not me. Not me.
That's a ring. Or
Yeah.
a finger. Finger
No,
or the
it's
ring?
the ring.
The ring.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not a briefcase.
It can hold a lot of things.
Okay. Okay.
It's got my house in there.
That's a lot of things.
Yeah. Oh, we should travel in that.
We can I can't do that yet. I think if I keep working at it, I can get to the point where maybe I can take like 5 people in there with me, but right now I haven't gotten there yet.
So then how does it go if
ring?
you're in the ring?
Well, usually I like hide it somewhere and then pop into it.
Could you like mail it?
I could mail it. The thing is like right now I can only be in there like 6 hours.
Oh.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, that's not a mailing situation.
But it's a good like, oh,
Yeah.
I need to hide out for a few hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
Dave returns with several bundles of like traveler's rations, nice ones. This is not just like MREs. This is like good stuff. It's, you know, packed up heartily. Brings you several bundles, probably like 2 per person. It's just like, okay, anything else I can grab for you? Oh, look, I didn't hear what the whole deal was because I was working out front. I just, when the stuff showed up at my door, I assumed you would be traveling. So I've seen the tube situation before. So not this exact one per se, but like things that have been delivered in the big.
But the tube situation, those typically go well. People come back from those. Those are fine.
I mean, everybody I know has just come back from them, but I mean, I assume it just depends on like, you know, how much difficulty you run into. It's like any mission, right? You know, it depends on how much difficulty you run into out there.
Yeah, or how difficult you make it. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. I mean, what's this one about?
Something giant tomb.
Tomb. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, a giant's tomb. Yeah, we should pack for days. I bet they can walk a lot further than we can.
That's true.
Where are they sending you?
Giant's
Was
tomb.
the-
Astawan.
was the-
Askatan? Askawan?
Ostacan?
Yeah.
Astacan.
Oh,
Ostacan.
Is that on this continent?
that's not on this plane.
Ooh.
Oh.
No. You can only get there by they're gonna like funnel you through the Radiant Citadel
Oh.
Ooh.
and fire you into a fully different dimension.
When you say fire,
It's gonna be like a normal teleport. You're just gonna be a lot queasier, probably, because the gravity might be a little bit different.
You know, I think you called your odds there.
Yeah.
Do they have food on the other side?
I mean, I assume so. Are they sending you to an abandoned tomb, or like?
Well, tombs generally are not made of the living, but
Well, I
they
mean-
are made by someone who is living.
Could be a tourist trap.
I've never been to.
So it's just going to be expensive food.
we gotta pack our own.
Yeah, I gotta bring your sandwich and get it through security.
Sensatlan, I've never been to Oskatan specifically, but Sensatlan is like an industrialized city-state that's accessible through the Radiant Citadel. They're like more or less fully developed, obviously. I think Oskatan is up in the mountains, so it might be a little more rural, but I don't imagine it's gonna be any worse than that weirdo pig town that you guys were all in.
That place
a
was
while
amazing. Their food was phenomenal.
And the boot.
Oh my God, not the boot. No more about the boot.
For my item, I was gonna ask for the other boot.
No.
And I knew.
Unfortunately,
it.
no.
Yes.
Look what I got.
Pigtown?
Oh yeah, we went to this little town. The mayor's a pig.
Yeah.
Oh,
Elected.
but like
Very well
just
run.
a regular pig?
Yep.
Like-
You were
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gemma
Just
Bean.
big.
right.
Got the word mayor tattooed on his ass.
Painted. No, painted sash? What was
It was painted on the butt.
Painted.
Yeah.
I hope they're not tattooing a pig.
Yeah, that's...
No, they seem to love the mayor,
Yeah.
and considering elected, I
elected
assume that
Yeah,
if
that would be
for
like permanent. That would be
years.
it would be emperor on the like, not mayor.
they believe, yeah, they believe in democracy. So
They-
technically, if she goofs it, she could be removed from her position. So you need that to be erasable.
I was assuming that mayor is also
Yes.
easier tattoo than emperor. A lot less
It's
painful.
shorter.
Right. Okay.
Well, it depends how big you make it.
I mean, my back piece only took like 3 or 4 sessions, but I can also sit for like 20 hours at a time. You gotta be when you have this many head. These are real rough. As you all may remember, I will reiterate for anyone who's new to this, Dave has the side shave, and on the side that is shaved, he just has like about 1,000 different little like cult symbols of various organizations and things.
I think you know what? No, I can make this work. But what is our butter situation?
Oh, you're gonna have to talk to somebody out there for anything perishable.
I'm gonna go for a butter run.
Before we go,
Yeah, we have to.
Do you
have
wanna
They
butter.
risk it
have
in
food in
transit?
Muscatel. Like, there's people who live. Well, maybe not anymore. They've been having issues
See
with
that right there?
earthquakes.
Maybe not anymore.
Because the last word I heard from Xeluan, like they were having these problems with like these massive earthquakes that were threatening the infrastructure of the town. A lot of people were starting to move.
I'm getting butter. I'll be right back.
Hyacinth goes running after Devan.
Okay, so, okay.
I mean, it's really like Xeluan's really beautiful this time of year, so you're gonna have some great weather up there. Up there,
Okay.
out there. I'm not sure what the correct term is.
So it's, what is the plane?
Xeluan.
Sense Etalon.
Citlan. Citlan. The Radiant Citadel is like sort of it exists up in the astral realms. It was placed there when there were various dimensions and planes that were in danger of like collapsing in on themselves or being destroyed, and so instead, hyper-knowing entities created sort of a central location that they could all attach to stabilize them and allow them to continue existing so they could rebuild what was left of their civilizations before they were made extinct.
Ah.
It's really beautiful. Most of it. A lot better than the Domains of Dread. Just saying, like, if you've got to pick one for vacation, highly recommend the Citadel.
So I'm just gonna put this thing in my satchel, then.
do you not want to put it in your satchel?
If anyone else is maybe stronger than I am.
Nobody's strong here.
Huey
Might be strong. How strong are you, Huey?
Pretty good. I mean, what do you need me to lift?
This.
I can get you, like, a leather strap on it so you can kind of, like, quiver it or, like, a map case or something. I don't recommend sticking one of those in any sort of, like, bag of holding, anything like that. I'd be concerned about destabilization if it comes in a lead case. There's usually a reason. You don't want to risk crossing the dimensions with it.
Mm-hmm. I wish Devan was here to hear that because he knows what that means. He knows what that means.
Well, I'll see you on the other side.
Oh, all right.
He
Stuart,
just
go for
doesn't
it.
want us to see him vomit. That's all that is.
Oh, that's
He just wants to get
nice.
Whenever my mom comes back around, dinner.
Oh yeah, sure. Gemma pops.
All right.
Oh, I should do
No comment, just leaving.
I just. Well, if I go down, just take a huge bite out of some. Gonna take a lot of rounds with me.
Dave flips you like 5 gold and just goes, tips from last night. Have fun. Disappears. About 5 minutes later, Devan, you come in.
I got the.
Oh.
I think they wanted to puke in private.
Do I still get the bonus dice?
Yes, you do. Everybody else.
Kind of
I should make y'all roll disadvantage just to really drive it home, but I won't. Con checks. Who vomits?
I'm doing disadvantage. Fuck it.
I'm so
I
Wow.
made
sorry.
numbers.
Taz,
15.
Taz is bad.
15.
I'll hold your hair.
Yeah.
7.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no.
20.
Okay, you're right.
11.
You've had worse, but it's pretty bad.
we go by disadvantage, 12. If
Okay.
not, dirty 20.
I will leave that up to you and how prepared Huey feels like he was. You all whiz through the nether realms of teleportation and find yourselves in a beautiful valley surrounded by beautiful mountains. It's really lovely. Picture, sort of like, Arizona National Park situation. Really lovely rock formations and structures where you are. Not a huge amount of foliage. And as you kind of look out before you, you can sort of see like the little crest of the hill, and then it kind of opens down. You move forward and you look, and what rests kind of stretching out down and below you is a little less Arizona and a little more Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark. Still beautiful rock structures, much more deserty as you're getting further out, with sort of mountains forming a little bit of a caldera in which you can see a town sitting down below.
Once Taz finishes retching.
Yeah.
Delightful.
All right, let's get a move on. Ugh.
The water setting. Just be like,
Oh, thank you.
yeah.
Okay, where did the coffee go?
This one?
Yes.
The water? Yeah.
Same one.
Yeah, it's all the same.
It's all, yeah. I told you we've been adding.
It's like, okay, do you ever get one of those magic pens where you can like tap one button and it's one color, and then you hit another color and it's another color? Yeah, that's what's happened with the coffee thing.
Aha.
You know what I haven't tried is suiciding it. Yeah, coffee.
What are all the different things that are in there?
We've got several different alcohols. We've got some juices, water, coffee, teas. There's probably a soup of some kind.
Definitely you've added Pepto-Bismol at this point.
Yeah.
Oh, don't suicide with that.
So he
It's the Pepto.
fills up a mug and then
The
hands
soup
it
and the
back.
Pepto combination plus
Thank you.
anything else
We'll
is
just,
wrong.
work on this
Refill.
here as we walk.
Unless like a
Different
squash
coffees.
soup.
We've got like an Americano. We've got like your regular lattes. We've got the iced varieties of some things.
So there's milk in there too.
Yeah. You could make
You could get a butter one.
butter.
Oh, God.
It would be melted butter.
That's delightful.
Well, no, if it's what
We're
kind of
gonna
milk
have
are
to
we talking?
churn your own butter.
Yeah, I don't
No,
have a
but
churn,
if-
but you can do that in a jar. You
But
can
if
just
we
shake
carried
it.
Yeah.
melted butter in it, then we just need to like unmelt it. It's easier to spread. Never
let
mind.
us
Isn't that just
solidify.
clarified?
Yeah.
I mean, imagine if you had like.
If you just get the whole milk, then you can just work from there. If
It's
you
not gonna
shake
take
it while it's
longer.
in there, does that churn it? Does it?
No.
If we put the milk in ice long enough, do we get ice cream?
Well, you have to add eggs and sugar.
Can I? I'm gonna change. Yeah.
I'm
milk
not saying it would be
setting.
good ice
And
cream.
I'm just gonna like shake weight it as we're walking down.
But you can
Yeah,
mash
you're
up a lot of
walking
stuff. It's like
along.
with biscuits. How you can mash up things
Tossing
with
it
biscuits. You can make
between
all
your
sorts of different kinds of
hands.
ice creams too.
You're really trying to make this biscuit argument that if you just put something in a biscuit, that thing is a biscuit now. But you're really
not-
just,
yeah, it's
it's
a
a
biscuit
biscuit
form.
with an additive. It was always
Yeah.
a biscuit.
Well, it's still a biscuit. I'm not saying it's not a biscuit. It is a biscuit.
This episode has been retitled Non Sequitur.
My desire to keep going with this is fighting my desire for plot. I'm like,
I broke Thomas. He can't decide if he wants the bit or the plot. I won.
We can have both, right? Somehow.
Turned out evil biscuits were stealing everything.
Yeah, I was gonna say only if biscuits are the solution to this problem.
Well, the best part is that I didn't even win because I did none of this. I just put these people at a table and said, "Go." You guys continue discussing about the merits of what defines a biscuit as you make your way sort of down this slope towards where you see the city below. As you approach the city, you can see that the town of Oscatan is built on a large flat area that's sort of between these two cresting mountains. So it sort of sits in this almost like caldera situation. There's a big, beautiful, like carved stone gate. Everything about the city seems to be like carved sandstone and things like that. Really elegant architecture that has maybe seen some better days. As you get closer, you can definitely see places where the architecture is cracked and crumbling and is looking damaged, perhaps as though there have been a lot of earthquakes, as were mentioned in your message. As you approach the main gates, they are open. You can see people kind of moving about on the streets inside. There are 3 guards posted at the gates. 1 is down below. There are 2 kind of up top, who all kind of glance you over but don't seem to be interested in impeding or interfering with you entering the city. As you walk in and as you pass under this beautiful stone arch that marks the gateway of the city, I need everybody to make me a dexterity saving throw.
Oof. Lands right on.
You're dead to me.
First dice jail of the night.
We do have plenty of bits, should somebody need it.
I would need a reroll.
Thank you, advantage.
Not worth it.
Okay. Stuart.
16.
Gemma.
19.
Tess.
12.
Huey.
16.
7.
12? Do you want to add a d6 to that?
I'm gonna take the brunt of it.
Yeah, I mean, I can.
We have a lot of bits, you might as well.
Yeah, 15.
And sorry, what did you say?
7.
7.
Oh, he already gave one.
Yeah.
Or did you roll one?
No.
No.
I just.
Devan, you are thrown very off balance by this and probably kind of stumble. Maybe you catch yourself on the wall, or maybe you go fully down.
My butter.
Working on it.
The rest of you shake, kind of, have to like quickly restance, but you're able to maintain your balance. Huey, you maintain your balance, but unlike everybody else kind of like wavers back and forth, like you would expect from, standing during an earthquake. You don't waver forward. You almost feel yourself being pulled down.
Did I just get shorter?
No.
You look taller from down here.
Devan is laying on the ground.
He's full catting.
Hyacinth jumps out of your backpack and immediately starts checking you over to see
I
if
just
you're okay.
look down on my feet to like why I feel like I'm getting pulled down.
Yeah, it's weird. This tremor passes. Everybody sort of stabilizes and fine, but there's this weird sensation where instead of wavering, it was almost like you got jerked.
Man, maybe I should be watching my diet.
Well, you are holding the
The thing.
giant,
thing.
giant thing.
It's probably trying to suck it back into the ground.
It's trying to attune with you.
I am not letting that happen.
It's attuning to you.
I don't need more misfortune. I got plenty of that as a rock star. I'm gonna.
What if it's recursive?
Taz just looks at Gemma and is like,
Gemma, this
I
is
see that and I go,
sorry.
yes, exactly.
hey, what'd you do there?
Oh no.
I'm gonna do a little. It's like, you know what? I don't want this. I don't want this on me. I mean, not the literal. The more. Screw it!
How heavy is it?
It's any of you can carry. It's
Great.
not like
We can
it's
pass it
Give me the
around.
rock.
I think.
I got it.
weighty, but
Yeah.
it's
Give
not.
me the fancy.
It's
We'll take
okay.
turns.
I'm gonna do a little non-detection on this little son of a gun,
Okay.
because basically what that does is, target can't be targeted by any divination magic or perceived through magical scrying sensors.
Sure. Yeah, you can take a moment and cast some non-detection on the tube.
Give that little roadie magic.
I make sure my butter's okay.
Better butter.
You're a little bit of it got smooshed when you
Smush.
fell.
Butter's no good. We have to.
But it did stay all fully wrapped. All the wax paper stayed around it. It just kind of got flattened.
I think I'm about to say we have to go back.
Well, they don't have butter here.
We can probably find a grocer and we can see if there is a butter station.
See,
Where do you have
See,
butter?
just think about how outlandish that sounds.
You go to the
dairy
dairy.
Yeah,
This
the
might
dairy.
be all the butter we get.
Why are you so worried about butter?
Butter gives all the calories and nutrients someone needs.
Have I had any luck with the decanter?
It's.
You have.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
But
Sorry. I'm sorry.
Roll me a d20. Tell me what you get.
8.
8. Cool. No, you
Right.
have not.
Yeah, I
Like-
think this is just liquid.
You're only getting liquid, and you're not even being able to mix the liquids like in the thing. Like you can obviously you can twist it to vodka and then twist it to orange juice and make a screwdriver. You have not been able to figure out how to get 2 liquids at once.
You
It's
need
probably
an,
for the best.
You need an attachment.
I wonder if I could talk to Sloat about one. Let's find this Leandro guy.
I just had a horrifying vision of adapting Theo to basically be a soda stream topper that mixes your cocktails. Anyway,
I think that's beautiful.
poor buddy. Anyway, yeah, you proceed into the city. As you reach sort of the main streets, you see there are smaller streets branching off, but this main street is kind of set up with there are various kind of bazaar style stalls kind of at various points, stone buildings. Some are steps that lead up to kind of an upper level and then seem to have sort of a lower open area, if you will, so there's an enclosed living situation on top, but then you can kind of go underneath into a sort of opened area where there's gathering places. Some places seem to be set up as little restaurants almost. You see not a lot of people are on these lower levels though, and you can see in a couple of places as you walk through warehouses have fully collapsed and crushed those or are facing major structural damage from all of these earthquakes. But there's merchants around trying to sell wares. It looks like this town probably was once really big and bustling and thriving, and now this is sort of the dregs of what is remaining. The people who have not yet left, who are trying their best to keep things as normal as possible in the face of these earthquakes.
How long have the earthquakes been going on?
Do you want to ask someone about that?
Yeah.
Who do you want to approach?
I'll find a nice shop with maybe
dairy shop.
Yeah, nice.
Gemma's not looking for the dairy shop. Gemma's
there's-
looking for the rock shop.
They're the first to shut down. this sort of
You
situation.
see a woman kind of took a little further back. She looks like maybe a half elf. Big colorful scarf wrapped around covering all of her hair, and she's got a bunch of silver jewelry, and some of it has inlaid stones and things like that. Lots of big huge hoop earrings and dance skirt wraps with bells or coins and things like that. Very beautiful mix of colors and metals. Seems very approachable.
Yeah, I'll go over and peruse.
Yeah, she immediately starts kind of, asking if you're looking for anything in particular, pointing out stuff that looks like it would go well with your coloring and would complement and everything.
Got this that matches you.
She's like, this one might blend in too much.
Yeah. Sometimes I need the little bit of pop.
Oh, I have a sort of blued silver that might create enough contrast.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's check that out. Are these earthquakes a normal thing?
They were a lot more common years and years ago. We hadn't had them in a long time, but in the last couple of months, it's really gotten bad again. We'd hoped everything had sort of stabilized. This area has always been prone to earthquakes, just the natural geological structure, but they seem to have returned. There are some who believe that perhaps we have once again angered the gods, and they have returned their displeasure to us. But
May we ask which gods in particular?
that's the thing. No one ever seems to know. Just
Generic
the
gods.
gods. I assume that's just a way for people to try to explain away things that they don't understand.
I would think for a place that had so many earthquakes that we'd be a little more structurally sound on some of these buildings.
Well, like I say, it was hundreds of years ago, generations past.
Do you know why they stopped? Or do you know anyone who would?
Oh, I mean, you'd have to ask somebody who's more attuned with the histories or see if any. I don't know if we have any elves left who would have lived that long to remember, but there are some of the folks. There's the cat folk who hangs out at the tavern sometimes. He's sort of an amateur historian. He's collected a lot of information about things. He would be a good person to ask.
What's his name?
Leandro, I think.
Oh.
He's something of a writer, historian, something like that.
Is there by any chance a volcano around here?
On the other side of the continent?
Oh, quite a ways away.
Yes.
Gotcha. Have there been sacrifices made to the volcano?
To the volcano? I'm not really sure. We our last set of travelers from the other side of the continent were a few weeks ago, right around the time that the earthquake started. So I haven't really gotten any updates. That might have been coincidence, though. I mean, correlation isn't always causation.
Could you describe these travelers?
They were merchants. I believe they were selling tablewares. You could go check with Hamad down at the far end stall. I think he might have dealt with them. He deals with a lot of flatware, tableware, things like that.
Oh, right.
Are they known for making sacrifices? I don't know.
I don't think tableware people
Yeah.
are known for making sacrifices.
I don't know. Varnish is expensive.
Which way did you say the tavern was?
If you continue down to the end of the street and just hang a right, you'll see the shingle hanging outside. It's a little bit up a few steps, kind of on the side of the hill.
Great. Can I also take those ones?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Great. We'll figure out the dollars.
Yeah, you conduct some transactions, you buy some stuff. She gives you her, little, not really like a business card, it's almost more like a wooden chit that is her,
Excellent.
her info, if you will.
Oh, her name's Etsy.
True. It's true.
Yes, those gods of Sur La Table. Piss them off, they'll be surly tablet.
Oh boy. You guys head off toward the tavern.
Do you want to stop by the tableware stall on the way?
Make sure they're not up to no good.
Yeah. Yeah, Hamad, right?
Yeah, Hamad.
Oh, come on.
Hamad.
H-A-M-A-D.
Yeah, I was gonna say, this is a real name, guys. This is not a crazy fantasy name.
it is-
Much like Dave, this is an actual name.
It is still a hearing, just to
Yes.
confirm we're all hearing the same letters.
Yeah, you walk up, you see a very, large gentleman with a stall full of, beautiful, serving platters, trays, plates, mostly carved wooden forks and knives and spoons and things like that. Some silverware, but it looks like he deals more in, wood and ceramic. Hello! We haven't had visitors in a while. Come in. What can I help you with? I see. You're looking for trays. We have tableware. We have flatware. If you're looking for something a little smaller, we've got jewelry dishes and we've got salt and pepper shakers and other spice containers.
I will definitely take 2 wooden forks, 2 wooden spoons.
Beautiful.
Yes.
We've got some exotic walnut and cherry woods imported from other parts of the realm, and then if you want something a little more local, we've got some lovely date wood.
Whatever looks fancy, I'll take.
Excellent choice, sir. He bundles up some stuff for you. And goes, you're a discerning man. I know what you need. He goes to his ceramics and he pulls out what looks like a little cylinder. He lifts off the lid and flips it over, and it has got a butter well to keep on.
Name your price.
You may have this.
Oh,
I
nice.
know a man who needs a butter well. Also, I can't sell them. The butter really doesn't keep around here. It's hot weather all the time, and camel butter's really an acquired taste.
We might not find better.
I trust these people completely, implicitly.
So anyway, we're looking to help with this earthquake problem.
Oh, well, wonderful. Are you seismologists?
I happen to be I dabble in wizardry.
Oh, even better.
Yes.
After all, magic is just science that has exceeded the bounds of human understanding.
Yeah, that's what some people say. Anyway, from what I understand, these things have. I'm also working on a new accent, so that I'm not.
It's very good. It's very good. I have no basis for your first one.
I assume you're still
consistent.
disguised.
I don't know if I'm probably not disguised anymore, but I'm trying with the voice.
On a side note, while this is happening, if there are any like cracks in the walls, Devan feels obligated to use mending to try to repair the area.
Good one.
Yeah, you can walk over to like the nearest building and just sort of.
No,
like,
just for this
like-
this particular
Yeah.
establishment. Yeah.
So anyway, no, that's anyway.
Take your time.
Well, I have a very specific accent, and I'm trying not to sound like it.
Fully respect. You know.
For no reasons in particular am I trying to hide my identity.
You know what? I don't ask questions, and I don't need to see ID to take payment. All currency is good here.
Right.
So, but you seem like you had some questions, and since I don't really have anything to hide, I am happy to answer them for you. As long as they don't sound like they're shady and going to get me into trouble with the local gang.
Anyway, we've come to understand that these earthquakes have started quite recently, and perhaps not coincidentally or coincidentally, I don't know how that works. At the same time, a set of traveling merchants came through, and I'm just we're looking to think about all data points in our wizardriness.
I mean, I guess now that you mention it, I think the last, I know some of the last merchants that passed through that I dealt with, at least, came through maybe around the time that the earthquakes seemed to start up. But we've, merchants come through here every month or two, regardless. They have my entire life, and I've lived here, 45 years, and they've come through since. Not as many. The travel's a little more difficult with the tremors and things, but I don't. Nothing about them. It's people that I've dealt with for years, so nothing would have particularly stood out about it to me. They're not really the magical types. They're, wood carvers from the forests on the other side of the continent. That's where I import my cherry wood from.
Ah, interesting.
They have pretty much the only humidity over there. We're on the desert side of the continent. Which is still beautiful. It's not to everyone's taste, though. I fully understand that.
So they didn't seem nervous or odd or anything.
Yeah, I mean,
out
they
of
were a
the
little
ordinary.
agitated by the earthquakes because they've never really experienced them before. They deal more with general rainstorms and things like that. Earthquakes, not so much, but they didn't seem particularly nervous beyond that.
Okay.
Maybe it's just weird coincidence, because if they hate earthquakes, I don't think they want to make more earthquakes.
Well, I mean, most people that I know just assume that the earthquakes have something to do with the curse.
Oh.
Oh, there's a curse?
Well, there was a curse, supposedly, but it was. What's the best way to?
Yes. Staring at the tube.
There's an old story about a giant and a group of heroes that protected the land, and while they protected the land, the earthquakes were lessened because they created this place as a refuge. They carved into the mountains to create this sort of valley that the city rests in to create a sanctuary so they could better defend the people from the natural occurrences. And once it was completed, whether it was, you know, the gods or just some sort of natural manner in which they had adapted things, the earthquakes that were plaguing the area lessened or stopped. At least that's like how the story has always gone. This was centuries ago. Everything has been pretty peaceful here until recently. Some of the more superstitious folks seem to believe that maybe someone has angered the gods or disrupted the peace of the heroes or something.
Is there any iconography or anything in town that's like
you can go.
specific to that?
I mean, you have to be careful about it, but like you can go view the tomb. It's if you continue up this hill and around, you'll see at the far end of the city they built a huge tomb and shrine for Xeluan, the giant. You can view it. People used to go say prayers and hold vigils on the steps in the front of the tomb and everything. Most folks don't really head that way now. There's some less than savory folks that also like to hang around there, so most folks keep their distance just to not cause any trouble.
What kind of unsavory folks?
The kind that you don't talk about in public, lest one of them hear you talking about them.
So folks as opposed to beasts.
Yeah.
Well, good thing we don't know anything about him, so we can't talk about him.
Yeah, makes sense.
You know, probably go get a drink at the pub and find someone who's a little more loosened up, if you get my drift.
That is what multiple people have suggested to us.
Look, I'm gonna be real with you. Unless you're specifically here for trading our wares, the viewing the tomb, visiting the tavern, or coming on a festival day when we've got all of the dancing and partying happening, kind of the only reasons to be here. Most people head to the big city. There's a lot more going on there, and they're a lot more technologically advanced than us. By choice, we've tried to kind of keep some of the more traditional, older ways, which is not to say, like, we're not fully without magic or technology, just we like to maintain some of that small town community vibe, right? Mm-hmm. I will say our handmade goods, though, are second to none. So if you're looking for real unique handmade goods, come here. Then head into the city for, a good time.
Duly noted.
Cool.
Right. Here's your silverware, here's your butterwell.
Yes.
Stop back again sometime if you want to look at more things.
Thank you.
Let me know if you need me to test any of the wares out.
Noted.
My butter now has armor.
And as Devan armors his butter and you all make your way toward the tavern, this is where we are going to take our break. We will be back very, very shortly. Please enjoy our little break video. Thank our wonderful patrons in the chat for supporting us. If you'd like to contribute to the tavern upkeep, if we don't make that, then we get to tell fewer of these fun stories, and we want to keep telling these fun stories. So consider throwing a few coins at these hapless investigators who are definitely going to figure out what's going on this time. I guarantee it. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes. Hello, friends and foes, fays and fiends, and welcome back to Quests and Chaos. We are in the midst of our first episode of Shard of the Accursed, which is the first of 2 level 8 modules in Keys from the Golden Vault. Our hapless heroes have been sent on an away mission. They have been handed a strange, slightly glowing rock in a big lead tube and told to return it to the town from whence it came. Rumors of curses and the anger of the gods swirl around them. What does not swirl around them is butter, despite several attempts to craft it along the way. And now, after talking to some local merchants, they are making their way to the tavern, where they have been directed that they might be able to find a playwright who is also something of an amateur historian for the area and might be able to answer some questions. Before you go to the tavern, since everybody needs all the help they can get, we have 2 coins from Red Dead Coquette. One for all y'all. And one for me. Thank you, Red Dead. Alrighty. You make your way to the tavern. The tavern is very easy to identify. It's a little bit like it's a few steps up from everything else on a hill, though, so it is like has a seemingly solid foundation set into the ground, which will hopefully help preserve it. Although you can see some of the decorative architecture up around the top edges is crumbled a little bit, maybe with age, maybe with the seismic activity. But this place is bustling. You can see there's almost like a patio area that has been set up with beautiful inlaid tile and folks sitting around with mugs of what looks like cold ales, also like tall coffee pots and little coffee cups, just a variety of beverages, little platters of dips and vegetables that they're all sharing. Everyone's laughing, having a good time. There's this outdoor patio, and then there's sort of an open interior area. It's got like big windows and archways that currently just have like gentle silks flowing in the breeze. And everybody can be seen inside for those who want a little more shade and a little more cool from the heat of the sun. But yeah, seems to be the place to be if you're not at the market.
So it shouldn't be this hard to find a cat amidst a bunch of people, right?
Yeah, I'm looking.
You guys head in, you take a look around. Perception checks. Can't roll lower than your passive.
Taz has massive disadvantage right now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like so much disadvantage.
Ooh. That is a 22.
Okay.
21.
21.
14.
14.
Sorry. 24.
24. There we go. And Taz is just going, oh god, as her eyes are watering.
Yeah, she's like pulled up a hood, and I think she probably, for most circumstances, has the emergency sunglasses, but like this is an extreme that I don't think she can actually compensate for.
Yeah, I think even with the sunglasses, this is like you are going to wear your sunglasses inside because trying to get it back down to
she's
the level.
too cool for school.
Indeed. But yeah, Huey, Stuart, and Devan, you all almost simultaneously spot the dude. It's not so much that he is a cat, although he is. He's a tabaxi, sandy, short-haired tabaxi, with little spectacles perched on his nose, wearing almost like a big flowy caftan-looking situation. It's more the fact that he is shoved in the corner with a table that is far too big for one person, absolutely strewn with like papers and tablets and writing implements and like a little stack of books, like 3 or 4 empty cups scattered amongst this detritus. And he's in that position where he's got his back to the corner and he can see everyone that comes in and out is just like scribbling furious notes. This guy's the writer.
This guy gets it.
Stuart's gonna do one of those things where he looks around the room and then just goes and looks right at him. And then looks away. Normally.
Devin's just looking right at him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, it's not even hard to historian, read his lips.
Huey's just walking over, just looking over his shoulder at the stuff he's writing, just intensely just.
Well, his back is fully to the wall, so you can walk up to the table and facing.
Yeah, I'm just
Yeah. You feel a paw very gently sort of place on your head and be like, excuse me, please, if you could just, hello, have we met?
Pardon my friends for being so whatever this is.
I do quite understand. Sometimes my reputation precedes me, and people are just a little too excited to find out what I'm working on next.
Well, we've actually been directed to you by a number of people to find out more about the history of the town and some of the earthquakes that have been happening.
Oh, amateur historians, please sit down. Pull up a chair. Would you like some coffee, rum, tea? They make an excellent cold beverage with a sort of fizzy, bubbly water and a yogurt and some mint. It's delicious.
Yeah, I'll take one. I'll take two.
What's
of
the
those.
yogurt made of?
Camel's milk, I believe. They also have one that's
You can
sort
try
of.
mine, Stuart.
They also have one that's sort of a dark cola syrup with lemon and chili flake in it.
I'll take two of those too.
Excellent. He sort of waves a paw
One for the
generally.
decanter, one for me.
Yeah, okay. Got you.
He sort of waves a hand, gets the bartender's attention, and just kind of shouts a bunch of drink orders across. The person working behind the counter sees you all kind of pulling up chairs and is basically it's that look of you're holding court. Yes, I will get some drinks for your friends. But yeah, you pull up around this table. It is, again, this is like a 6-top or an 8-top, so you all easily fit. He sort of gathers up some of his papers and neatens the piles a little bit to give you all a little more space. And then just sort of settles back in. He's yes, so you wish to speak about the history of the town and the earthquakes. Is there anything in particular you would like to know, or shall I just wax rhapsodical about it?
Well, we are under the impression that there's a story about earthquakes happening many, many generations ago, and those were stopped by a group of heroes and a giant.
Oh yes, yes, the tale of the giant Xeluan. Long ago, Xeluan lived amongst the giants until he was attacked and outcast by his kin for his kind-hearted nature that was at odds with their warring culture. He was left to die on the side of a mountain. But a group of heroes happened upon him, and instead of delivering a finishing blow, they took pity on him and nursed him back to health, healing his wounds and providing magical balm to his injuries. In gratitude, Xeluan pledged his life to the service of these heroes, and then from thenceforth traveled with them across the continent, performing great deeds of heroism and magic. When the earthquakes of ancient times threatened to devastate our city, the giant and the heroes carved into the mountainside a safe haven in order to protect the city from such damages and dangers as might befall it, a place where they could help control and curate a safe, peaceful environment for all who came here. And stories have long suggested that the giant bound himself to the city with powerful wards and magics to allow him to use all of his giant strength and greatness to provide nothing but protection and safety for the people he now called his people. His death was sung of in legends for centuries, how he sacrificed himself in one final burst of energy, pressed out into the universe and the weave itself to save the city from certain destruction. In honor of his sacrifice, his tomb was built on the hills behind the city so that his sacrifice could forever be remembered and preserved. And all of his party, the heroes who had loved him as one of their own, one by one, as their lives ended, took themselves and their families also to that resting place. And that is how Ostracan came to be under the protection of the giant Xeluan. You may applaud now. Thank you. It still needs a bit of refinement. I think some of it's a little bit rough and stumbling, but it's getting there.
No, I think that's the fine starts of a monologue for sure.
Yes, I'm trying to figure out a way. Unfortunately, there's a great amount of exposition that does need to be involved in order to understand the context. I can't decide if I want to go, in the more traditional, like, choral fashion where everything is exposition, much like the plays, or if I want to go with a more modernized dialogue and see the events in real time as they happen,
Well, I mean, there's nothing wrong with the former, as long as you kind of really emphasize the really big parts, those epic moments.
Yes, exactly. You have to find the parts that need to be highlighted, and then you have to expand and contract in the ways that provide balance to the story.
Have you considered accenting the emotional beats with interpretive dance?
I have, in fact. There's a wonderful dance troupe operates out of the city. They're divine, but they don't really do narrative content. And I'm trying to persuade them to work with me that we could combine the spoken word and the visual art of dance and create something truly magical together.
That'd be good.
Yes. So the earthquakes,
Yes.
they are happening?
Well,
Happening
yes.
now.
Yes. No, I mean, they haven't haven't really been felt in years, and very recently they started back up again, it seems. Quite unfortunate. It's really taking a toll on the city, and they do seem to be getting worse.
Did anyone defile the tomb, by any chance?
Give me an insight and a persuasion check.
Insight is 16. Persuasion. Wow, that was way off base. So 8,
Still caught it.
8 plus 3 is 11, plus 2 is 13.
You see when he asks, you see a little kind of like it's the cat like eyes dirt around real quick when you ask that question. And he sort of takes a quick glance and then sort of like smooths himself out a little bit after the startle of the question. And he goes, well, there was this fellow years and years ago, this elven archaeologist who showed up, wanted to explore and excavate the tomb. It's long since mostly been sealed off, from what I understand, both for the sanctity of the tomb itself and for safety, honestly. Who knows what could be in there after all this time. Mostly just people would go to the steps and pray and things, but he wanted to excavate and prove that it was more than just a symbolic tomb, that it was literally the final resting place of the giant. And to be perfectly honest, I mean, he's an elf. I assume he was looking for treasure. Elves famously bury their aged and dead when they ever actually do die, with mountains of treasure amassed over their 100-year lifetimes. And I imagine he was hoping the same might be true here. He was barred at the time by the mayor. He hung around for years and years trying to convince anyone who would listen that the old mayor was barring him illicitly and paying people off, all this sort of thing. Then he vanished. Actually vanished right around the time the earthquake started. I just assumed he got out of Dodge when things started getting rough again.
Is the mayor is your current mayor?
No, the father of our current mayor was the mayor who barred him.
Right.
He had 2 children, and his son succeeded him as mayor. We don't really have noble houses or hierarchies in this town. We're just too small for that. But the mayor's family is about the closest we have to something like a noble family.
What was this elf's name?
Rilago, I believe it was.
Just random thought. The new mayor. Did they happen to become mayor around the time that he disappeared as well?
I am double checking. He became a mayor. I have this information. I just have to find which paragraph it's in. Apologies. There we go. I was like, no, there's a timeline. I just have to find it. This Rolando first showed up probably a decade or two ago. He's been around ever since, really, until a couple of months ago when he vanished. Tavio, the mayor, succeeded his father about 4 or 5 years ago now, I think. He and his sister live in the big villa on the edge of town.
We also. All right, I just can't do it anymore. I cannot hide my actions anymore. I apologize greatly. Anyway.
Are you an actor?
Yes, and.
The same way I'm a rock star.
How have I been blessed with such a glorious...
Oh, he's fantastic too. I'm his agent.
I've been here for months, and not a single soul has shown any promise in the performance arts. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. You were about to ask me a question. Please go
I
on.
was. I don't. I'm flustered now.
I'm sorry, it's stage fright. I understand. I used to get it too.
Yes. More ways than one. Anyway, so there's we heard that there's and he leans in ruffians about.
Yes, that is true. There is sort of a local criminal organization, one might call them. I don't know what else one would call them. Ruffians, thugs, goons, perhaps. Yes, they call themselves the Onyx Scar. Though I wouldn't go flashing that name around unless you wanted to draw their attention.
That's peculiar.
Unfortunately, I've never been able to learn the origin of the name, mostly because I don't want to talk to the people who would know, because they're going to think I'm going to write something down, which of course I'm going to if I ever find out. But I can't let them find out about that, because I'd probably end up dead in a ditch somewhere. You know how these things go.
Do you have any distinguishing tattoos or secret codes or...
None that I'm aware of. I don't generally deal with them. I just know that there's a load of them around.
They're relatively covert, though. They're not particularly overt.
Depends on your definition of covert.
They don't have any, every one of them has to get a tattoo or something.
No, we just all know who they are.
Yeah, okay.
Are there any in the tavern now?
Yes, that table over there, those two folks over there, and all those guards down patrolling the street.
Oh, good. I know how to play a song and catch their attention now. I thought I was going to risk my life.
What?
No, make myself out in the open as bait. That whole thing. But cool. Now we know who to kill. I mean, if it comes to it.
Research.
I wouldn't
For
recommend
Mr.
just
Shonnery's
going
next big role.
killing willy-nilly.
Yeah.
That could be incredibly dangerous.
Don't worry, I don't do
There's
that. Just
a
if it
lot
comes
of
to it.
I mean, if you have to defend yourself or your honor or your art, then certainly I could see how you might get there. But really, I don't. No, there's a lot of them in town. So I'd say at this point the town's probably about 50% members of the Onyx Scar and 50% people who haven't yet raised the funds to leave. So maybe just keep it on the DL a little bit.
That's some numbers.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Are they predominantly the policing force in this arena?
May I ask why you're asking these questions?
I just really don't. If we happen to get in trouble, we're new in town. We don't know stuff. If we get in trouble
Yes, certainly,
with
but I mean,
normal law enforcement, that's one thing. If it is secret guard or whatever, that's a whole
I
other
have
thing.
traveled around for much of my life as well. I'm very used to being a stranger in strange places, and I don't generally start my conversations by asking who the local thugs are because I'm worried about getting in trouble with them. I just sort of like go about my business and don't nose into things. And so the fact that you're asking really leads me to think that it's because you're in here to do something that they're not going to like. And I don't know if that's because you're some sort of rival group that's looking to infringe and try to take over their status here, or if you're looking to flush them out or something like that. So I just, for the sake of full disclosure, I'm a playwright. I know how to read people. I can tell you all aren't telling me something, and I'm not saying you have to reveal the full hand, but maybe give me a card or two to work with.
We are interested in visiting the tomb. We were told that there is dangerous people between us and there, which it sounds like it's the local group. I'm just a little bit. I mean, it's nerve-wracking to have not just local thugs who I have no real problem tangling with, but if they are also the authority in town, that could present a different issue.
What sparked your interest in the tomb?
It is our task to stop the earthquakes.
Ah. Interesting. And how is it that you intend to do that?
Well, we're trying to figure that out.
It wasn't quite clear.
Well, I mean, I certainly think that that is a noble pursuit, and I fully support it, and would be happy to assist you with further information if I could, but I'm going to need a little more trust here if there's anything else you know that I might not, because I'm not really sure what else I can tell you to help.
I'm gonna start reading their mind to see what surface thoughts they're thinking of.
Okay.
Ooh.
Not gonna pry deep enough
No,
to get
just-
their attention, but just
No,
start.
just start with surface thoughts.
Yeah.
I've seen this before.
No, actually
No?
you haven't seen this before.
Okay.
I usually don't intrude. If someone's sending something to me, this is actually
Yeah.
a little different.
Okay. 'Cause I was gonna go into my leading man voice. Maybe
He's
that
doing
would,
his, but like more questions to anyhow.
Yeah. Surface thought. I'm double checking. Surface thought is did Tavio send them to test me? Is this a test? Is this a trick? Is he not like that I was asking him questions? Is there something else he didn't tell me? Where did they come from?
I only have a little bit of time. Yeah, I'm gonna link us all up.
Everybody feels the slightly invasive whoosh of Devan's psychic
Devin.
powers.
Ask him questions. Try to pry. Get him to think about things.
You may have heard of our employer. They're a particular vault type. And you were the contact they gave us as someone who might have information regarding the tomb.
Vault. I mean, I have a strong box in a bank in the big city. I imagine they have vaults as well, but I don't know why they would have sent you to me or anything. I don't keep any. I mostly just keep my copyrights and certain manuscripts there. Nothing of particular importance or notice.
you think it might just have something to do with this?
Oh, God.
Oh, fascinating.
No, thank you.
It's
It's,
not.
it's cursed.
You can look, but you can't touch.
Yeah, it's not. It's not friendly.
It's a box.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
the thing inside.
Well, how am I supposed to?
Yeah, we ran into the same problem. I mean, you just had
Okay,
sort
we
of
don't.
faith.
Okay, yeah.
We can't
considering
open that here.
Is there somewhere maybe
Yeah, no.
without extra eyeballs that
Yes.
we could discuss?
I have a room upstairs. Bottom floor's the sort of coffee shop tavern. Upstairs is rented rooms. We could all.
Would it
convert
be?
there.
Would it be? Do you think it's possible to get to the crypt?
I mean, you could certainly get to the steps, but if you're trying to avoid the eyes of the Onyx Scar, they've always got people prowling around, taking notes of anybody who goes out there.
Are you aware of any stories around things that might have gone missing from the tomb?
I may have heard something.
Taz motions to the cylinder. I feel like it might be important if things were not missing anymore.
Oh. We should go upstairs and talk.
Yeah.
Everyone grab your cups. We're going on an adventure. All right. And so then, as I was saying, the third act just very loudly starts like picking up papers, leaves half his shit on the table, and just starts like herding you upstairs. Puts a big furry arm around you. Stuart is just like, I've been looking for a capstone. I need something for the 11 o'clock number, and with a rich baritone like that. I think you're my new muse. Like, hurries you up the stairs, making a huge show of.
Telling
like,
you he's going places.
taking
I knew bringing him here was just the break he needed.
Nothing says stardom like middle of nowhere. Ugh.
He ushers you all upstairs. Hurries you all into his room. Closes the door. Heads over. Big like open windows again with like blowing curtains, and he just kind of like does a quick scan down below, and then sort of tucks in. This is a room. There's like there is a large bed that has been piled high with probably more pillows that originally came with this room. Definitely has the vibe of a cat bed now. Just like pillows and blankets, like a little nest. But he kind of like rifles some of the pillows off and like throws them around so you guys can all kind of sit on the floor. And he picks one of the cushions and sits down and goes, Tavio, the mayor, and I have been friends for some time. Not necessarily confidants, but comfortable with one another. And, I discovered that his sister, Aminta, is working with the Onyx Scar. It, seems I went to confront him about this, of course, because it's not really good look for one of you to be running the town and the other one to be also running the town in a sense when it might be at odds. And Tavio confessed that he's been trying to cover up her actions because she and her cronies are excavating something from the tomb. They've got a load of workers up there doing something, always looking to recruit more people, especially desperate people who need to try to make a quick buck to get out of here. And half or more of the guards seem to be, if not members of the Onyx Scar, at least in their pocket, willing to turn a blind eye. Again, everyone's trying to make quick cash and get out of here. The earthquakes have been getting worse and worse. Some people think it's the anger of the gods. Some people think that it's the protection of Xeluan finally cracking. whatever it is, if it keeps going, Ostrakan won't exist in a matter of months, weeks even. And if Aminta is, in fact, defiling the tomb of the city's protector, well, I'm not saying I believe in gods and curses, but I am a storyteller, and it would make a rollicking good tale, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that'd be a pretty big banger.
You said they're looking for volunteers?
Workers. They do pay. It is, not more than a notch up from, slave labor based on the conditions I've seen. And there is, a heavy presence of armed guards making sure you don't say anything you shouldn't say or see anything you shouldn't see, as it were. But, yes, they're always looking for workers.
Might be a way to get closer.
Well, I don't think that's the problem.
What's the... Okay.
Well, even if we fix this, they're just gonna break it again. They're the problem.
We don't know what they're looking for.
Things to sell.
We don't know that.
Yeah, I mean, it could be things to sell. It could be infinite power.
They could be looking for the thing that we're trying to return. They could be looking for a source of power. They could be looking for stuff to sell. But if they're actually hiring workers to help get them out, I don't know. There's just something about that vibe that says that they are trying to effectively get to something in particular.
Do you get that impression?
Tavio would know better than I would. I've tried very hard to stay out of it. I only recently incidentally discovered Aminta's involvement and wanted to speak to him about that. The whole... whatever she's doing in the tomb was adjacent to the knowledge that I had. But he clearly knows something more about it if he's helping to cover it up. You're really, truly here to try to solve the problem. You want to stop the earthquakes. You want to return whatever this is to its rightful place. I'm going to choose to trust you. If you betray that trust, I hope you know that I will, to quote a much more famous playwright than me, eviscerate you in fiction. He gets up and he goes over to the head of the bed, and he reaches down between the headboard and the mattress, behind a bunch of these pillows and things that he's piled up, and he pulls out a very kind of tattered piece of parchment. It's kind of torn in places. It looks like it's missing some bits. And he brings back over and he spreads it out in front of you and says, "This is a map of Xeluan's tomb, or at least it's part of one. Tavio stole it from his sister's quarters when she was out and gave it to me for safekeeping in case anything should happen. It's doesn't show everything. I imagine she may have more information now. This looks like it was a much older map. Maybe it was part of the starting point for her excavations. But it is a map that I believe dates from the time of the tomb's building. So what is there is hopefully at least somewhat accurate and can give you a starting point on how to navigate.
So looking at it, is it a large structure?
It is incredibly massive. I don't have a handout, so
Oh
I'll
my
show
goodness.
you.
Oh.
It is huge. It is a multi-story tomb with a massive central cavern. Whatever is in there has kept Aminta and her people occupied for quite some time. So there's either a lot of something or it's something that they haven't found yet. And whatever it is that they're doing in there, I don't think it's good.
Can we get a recommendation to see the mayor? An introduction, letter of?
Yes, I can get you to see Tavio. Would you like me to go with you or just send a letter?
It might be better for you if you just give us the letter.
Right, I'll write something up. Hand it off. Are you sure you don't want me to look at what's inside there?
As long as it doesn't
Look
cut.
with your eyes, not with your hands.
Curiosity killed the cat. He kind of peers inside, and you see like his ears kind of flatten back a little bit, and his eyes slit up a little, and he's like, "Oh, well, that's incredibly magical." Whatever that is, I'm sure it has something to do with whatever's going on. Be careful. I'll get you a letter to see Tavio, and hopefully he can give you some more guidance. I can also certainly help get you in, Tavio and I, if you want to get in as workers. I will warn you, we'll need to hide that somewhere where you can get to it, but don't have it on your person when you're introduced. They search everyone who goes near the tomb. Tourists, locals, workers, everyone. But, well, you know, I'm a lot more dexterous than I look. I'm sure I could find a way to sneak it over a wall to you or something like that, if need be.
We slather the whole thing in butter. Then it just looks like it's a huge log of butter.
It is.
What if they try to cut into it?
We kill them.
That's.
We could. We make a lot of butter.
Devin, that feels excessive.
Well,
You will jump to murder very quickly, and I'm beginning to wonder if I misread this situation.
It's that corner.
it's only because of the butter.
Look, I understand. I was briefly invested in trying the adventuring life in my younger years. Quickly discovered it just wasn't for me. But more support to those of you who can do it. Well, I'll get you that letter. Right now, you can wait here. You can wait downstairs. I can bring it to you. And I hope you can do something about this, because I would hate to see this place collapse due to the folly of man after so many centuries were spent trying to protect it from itself. He goes over to a secretary desk, pulls out an immaculate sheet of paper, very fussily, gets his quill and ink and his little seal and everything, and writes you up a letter of introduction that looks very formal and official, and seals it and signs it and everything. Hands it off to you. Good luck. And that is where we're going to end tonight's episode. Woo! Yeah. Gonna go talk to the mayor about his terrible sister. It'll be fine.
Hamad still has info we haven't gotten yet. And tableware.
Ahmad does have a lot of tableware if y'all want to, I don't know, take Dave a bunch of new dishes for the bar or something.
There's a bunch of wood-carved tableware.
Do you need more glassware?
I think we're okay.
Dave's I'm only going to use wooden plates at the common table now because too many of the, dwarven frat boys keep smashing my crockery during rush week. Yeah. Well, thank you everyone for joining us for this first episode of Shard of the Accursed, a module in which, as per usual, nothing bad will happen, for sure, 100% guaranteed. We are going to be back next week, same bat time, same bat channel. I believe GDS is going to be back this Saturday. So stay tuned, as always, to all of our socials and our Discord. Our Discord is the best place to get information because some of us don't sleep and are online all the time and will answer your questions about schedules anytime you want. But yeah, join our Discord, follow us on socials, stay up to date on the schedule. We will update you all whenever we know anything is upcoming or changing. Thank you always for your support. If you are a member of our Patreon, you can head over and join us for a brief After Dark. I'm not sure what we're going to talk about. Probably butter at this point. But you can join us for a brief After Dark over there if you would like to get access to those exclusive After Darks and join such fun games as Etymology with Alondra and Alondra rants about 5e rules and Thomas and Alondra hate that healing is so easy in 5e. You can join our Patreon and get access there. For the rest of you, we will see you next week. Thank you for joining us and have a lovely night.